Darkness imprisoning me. All that I see, absolute terror. Welcome back to Winning Hearts. That question is the last thing I hear before the darkness consumes me. And what do I hear? Darkness? Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Let me tell you what you have to do, bro. You gotta book slip at a banana split on a pole match, bro. I need more pole matches. With our main character of the story unconscious, let's take a short break from our story, shall we? You know, normally on this podcast, I cover news, pay-per-views, the works. Sensitive subjects, Universal Wrestling Enterprises mass talent release, that. Or something more lighthearted, like Shibuya Pro Wrestling's Into the Fray pay-per-view, where they managed to perfectly balance the comedy with intense, hard-hitting matches. DDT stand-in? But I thought a change of pace was needed. You can hear pages of a notebook being flipped through, till the host finally gets to the right page and she clears her throat. As you now know, I work at NGW as a commentator, so I may or may not be jeopardizing my career by telling this story. Then again, that would require Ronnie and his yes-men to figure out how to use the internet, and we all know that isn't going to happen. However, this story was just too good to pass up. Speaking of being too good to pass up, our sponsor today is Sam's Sweet Shop, open since the 60s. Oh, that's cute! Although Jenna's going to tell you about this fantastic little sweet shop, that's just only a small tidbit of information about the shop. I highly recommend you check out the game Sam's Sweet Shop appears in if you want to know everything about them. Oh, this is 8 Sweets by KD133. And it looks adorable. They serve the meanest chocolate chip cookies that even your grandma would be jealous of. Ah, a sponsorship. Every podcast has to have them, I suppose. We do live in a capitalist society, after all. But that's not all. Your head tilts, curious about what else there could be to sell. They sell chocolate eclairs, mouth-watering cupcakes that come in over 10 flavors, and a strawberry layer sponge cake that's so fluffy it's like you're eating a cloud. Visit their new site, samsweets.com, and use the code JennaRumble. You can save 20% on your next purchase of sugary baked goods. Opening a new tab, you quickly go to the website and scour its content. Does it just open up to the game page? It does just open up to the game page. Called 8 Sweets. That is cute. The year is 1966. While Rob is taking a round-the-world trip, Heather stays in her hometown to run her bakery and sweet shop. Two of them have been attempting to keep a long-distance relationship, but Heather seems to be feeling the strain with each passing day. Well, that's cute. This is the host and the sponsorship you've successfully checked out. Because not even you can resist sweets. Your poor wallet. Anyway, let's talk about the story so far. Poor Amy. She's the best person I've ever met. But just like every good person in the world, she's in a pickle right now. Why do bad things always happen to good people? Because life sucks, you reply in your head. Life sucks, and then you die. As you can tell, NGW isn't in the best spot right now. Ratings are down, the toilet, the promotion is constantly getting flamed online, and the dirt sheets are continuing to put out pieces about us. Observe this, brother. Dirt sheets are websites and newsletters that cover all aspects of professional wrestling. We typically put out information about what's going on with various wrestling promotions. This can range from real-life drama involving a wrestler, or plans that a company has, like storylines or matches. Dirt sheets gain a bad reputation because they expose the business for being staged rather than real. But hey, someone's going to find out about professional wrestling wasn't real at some point. It's still real to me, damn it! Nowadays, there are a ton of dirt sheets out there that fans can get info from. For the most part, though, people get any insider information from Dave Meltzer. Big Dave Meltzer. Who started the first ever dirt sheet back in 1982. Imagine writing about wrestling for 40 years. That takes some serious dedication. Yeah, seriously. Big Dave is still right on the edge of falling out with the current generation, I'd say, but... Honestly, him and people from that generation have real impressive encyclopedic knowledge of the history of the business that deserves respect. Observe this, brother. This is a rag sheet, brother. They say now Ronnie's essentially ruining NGW and that wrestlers are voicing their concerns and are even thinking of leaving. You know, the whole 9 yards. It's really bad, and I think a lot of it is weighing heavily on Amy. Should she step up to Ronnie, but risk losing her job? Or should she just keep doing as she's told, but as a result, the product, even the wrestlers, suffer more? She's at a crossroads, and she's scared to go on either path, her selflessness clashing with her need to survive in this world. I'm sure we've all been in a similar position. Think back on your own adventures in life, where you had to weigh your options carefully. They weren't easy. Some of these decisions you don't regret, but others? You wish you could go back in time and change your decision, your mistake. But I think there's hope at the end of the tunnel, with the introduction of that talking belt, which, by the way, doesn't surprise me in the least. I've seen a lot of crazy things in my life, like rings exploding, custody battles being settled in the ring. Really, a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah, that... In a ladder match, even. There was a ladder match for custody of a small child. I guess you could say that wrestling really prepares you for the roller coaster that is life, huh? Anyway, that title is definitely going to come in handy. I think that's gonna be what turns things around for NGW. Maybe something crazy like a talking wrestling belt is exactly what we need to put life back into this place. Don't you agree? You aren't sure that you do. Ooh, it's getting a little heavy in here, isn't it? Before we get back to the story, let's move on to something a lot nicer, like Joshi wrestling. Joshi wrestling, also referred to as Joshi Puroresu, is a term to describe Japanese female professional wrestling. It first started back in the 1950s. Legendary Osaka Joshi wrestling, popularly known as LOJW, had another great show this week. For those unaware, Joshi is a term for Japanese female professional wrestling. If you really want to see what a range of styles without the need to know the language, Joshi is a perfect starting point to learning more about Japanese professional wrestling. The Joshi scene is thriving over in Japan. Podcaster continues to go on about Joshi wrestling for another 20 minutes until... Well, I hope that elevated your spirits. Let's get back to the story, shall we? Ah, my head is pounding. When I wake up upon my soft, sumptuous-looking couch, did I fall asleep? No, I couldn't have. Last time I passed out on this couch was when I came back from that Christmas party completely blasted. Poor thing didn't see the vomit coming. I glanced up at the clock, blinking a few times to focus my vision. 23:46. I got back from work around 21:50. How did I end up like this? I got home, then I opened up the parcel and looked at the title. The title. Nervously look around the room and spotted reading the paper on the chair like it's human. Hey, bro! Oh no, I'm starting to feel lightheaded again. It has to be a dream, right? Hey, this world is going to hell if this is all true. Oh, Prince Harry might not actually be a prince. Oh, do tell. And it's commentating on the tabloids. This has to be an incredibly vivid dream. That or I must have inhaled something on my way inside. My neighbors are quite the partiers after all. Maybe I'm actually going bonkers. Oh! The damn thing turns in my general direction. It's nice to see you're back in the land of the living. I was worried about you for a second, love. I would have called for help, but you know how it is, being a title belt and all. You know, I thought of all these crazy ideas, but I forgot one other possibility. This could all be just a big, cruel joke. I lunged the title. Hey, unhand me. Bro, it attempts to shake out of my grasp. There has to be a tape of me or something. There's no way you could read or know who Prince Harry is. I swear, if this is all just an elaborate rib from Ronnie, I'm gonna lose it. Rib is a prank played on someone in the business. Let it be a wrestler or backstage employee. Some of the time, these pranks are pretty harmless. However, there was a time where a prank involved someone calling the police and having an employee being arrested. Yeah, those are real things that happened back in the old days. Said employee was not aware this was a prank, and they legit thought they were going to jail. Wrestling, am I right? Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, if this was a prank, we'd put Ronnie making Amy think she's going crazy at a 7 or an 8. Yeah, because this is an elaborate ploy to gaslight Amy. Then, yeah. But nothing. There's nothing on the title besides its gold plates and blue leather. Hey, are you done, bro? The title jumps out of my hands, landing softly on the chair. Listen, I'm flattered you thought I was sexy, but that doesn't mean you can get all touchy-feely with me without my permission. Did your parents not teach you respect? How do you know about Prince Harry? How can you read? How are you talking? Is this what humans call 20 questions? Bro. To answer your first question, once you hear enough banter about things, you kind of get familiar with it all. The world, politics, nobles. I've heard it all the last couple of weeks. You humans sure love to talk. As for reading, I got bored while the humans were away at night, so I learned to read. It's a super nice skill to have. I can feel my eye twitching. As for talking, just like you, I was born with it. It seems like you're the only one to hear me so far. This isn't happening. This isn't happening. What am I? A made-for-TV special? I yapped the bloke who was screwing my plates up, but he didn't hear a thing. Pity, because I was going on about some genius stuff. I envy that guy. I envy being normal. Just accept that this is your reality, Amy. Stuck in a job that's sucking away your passion for wrestling. Having to listen to a shitty boss. Now you're talking to a talking wrestling championship title. Honestly, given the trajectory my life is currently on, I should have expected something like this. Take a deep breath and exhale. Look, we got off on the wrong foot. Yeah. I don't have feet. Bro, I don't have feet. What are you talking about? Once again, I can feel my eye twitch. Great, this thing's a smartass. Even better. Hold my hands into fists. I need to knock this thing down a peg. Then I remember just how much this idiotic title costs. I mentioned that if I do end up throwing this thing out a window, how would I go explaining that to Ronnie? Not only would I be out of a job, but I would have to pay whatever it costs to get this title fixed. No doubt I'll be put into some kind of contract where I need to make monthly payments to pay that off. Absurdly expensive monthly payments. No thanks. I just finished paying off my credit card. Can't put myself through that hell again. Need to remain composed. Let out an exasperated sigh. It's an idiom. Listen, I don't really have the time to explain every aspect of the English language because, frankly, it's way too complicated for even native speakers to fully grasp. I extend my hand out as a sign of hospitality. My name is Amy. Do you have a name? Me? A name? Oh, why, of course I do. Who doesn't have a name? His shaky voice doesn't exactly strike confidence in me. Tyler looks around the room in search of something. He looks down at the golden plate in the middle of the blue leather belt. It displays NGW. Pray tell, Amy, what does NGW stand for? Next Generation Wrestling. Don't tell me. Is it? I see. Well, getting back to my all-important name. My name is... Looks back down at the plate engraved NGW. Newton. He just came up with that on the spot. By the way, what bar is Newton? Newton is a Yorkie bar. Blue backdrop with gold lettering and plating. It's a Yorkie bar. That's not your name, you just came up with it. How do you know? You're just upset I was named after a great mathematician. Well, your parents gave you a name like Amy. Who names their kid Amy, anyways? Newton is making it so hard not to throw him out of a window. Would have already taught this little brat the lesson of talk shit, get hit if it weren't for Ronnie. Wait. Crap, I forgot! Grabbing my 8-year-old laptop off the coffee table, I plop myself down on the couch where my little butt indentation is and open up the ancient machine. Hey, what are you doing? You can't just not retort to my comment. Where's the fun in that? Newton is standing on the adjacent chair like a pet that desperately wants attention. Listen, Newton, I've got a lot on my plate. I need to work on some stuff for my job. Go do something until I'm done, then I'll figure out what to do with you. Wait, you're just gonna work? What am I supposed to do? I don't know, just do something. Seriously, I need to focus and get this stuff done. But, no buts. Fine. Newton walks away, exploring my tiny flat and gracing me to my first moment of peace of the day. I start up my writing program, Scavenger. Scavenger? It opens up a fresh page with Ronnie's notes digitized on my screen, because Lord knows I can't read his chicken scratch. Have Slip make fun of Zorro while making banana puns. Zorro stands there and takes it until he makes a horrible banana pun that sets him off. After about an hour's worth of work, I take a moment to look over what I've written so far. Everything in this document is hot garbage. I'm supposed to write a good promo with these notes. Oh, it doesn't matter what I think, though. I need to get this finished so I can head to bed. You have any more of these I can read? Glancing at my computer screen, I find Newton holding up the newspaper I found him with earlier. I shake my head. I'm a museum, Newton. I don't collect newspapers. Once I'm done with them, I throw them in the recycling bin. And what else am I supposed to do? I tried reading this, but nothing. Done. Newton throws a Blu-ray copy of Nimble Moon, The Fight Against Zort, at me. It barely misses me, colliding with the wall inside. Hey! The only thing inside is a disc. How am I supposed to read a disc? What am I supposed to do? Is this what it's like to raise a child? No, that's an insult to children. I think Newton is just a special case of annoying. Newton, look, that's not my problem. On my list of duties, my job doesn't state that I have to take care of a wrestling title. Now let me get back to writing. He doesn't listen, however. He just continues to stand there, looking at me with, I think, an inquisitive look. What are you writing? I'm writing... how do I explain this to you? I scratch my head, trying to think of a simple way to describe wrestling and Newton's purpose in life. You know that you're a title for a wrestling promotion, right? Yeah. The folks working on me mentioned that a couple of times. But they used the term belt instead. Yeah. Belt, title, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Okay. Quickly explain the situation to him. How he's a title for the Slip and Zorro feud. In 2 weeks, one of them will win the title. We haven't decided on who, though. Normally, something as big as crowning a new championship is decided weeks, if not months in advance. Not at NGW. So a guy dressed up as a banana, who constantly talks about bananas, is fighting a silent luchador with no personality. And they're fighting for me, the top title. I nod. Wow, that sucks. Even this sentient belt thinks this whole feud sucks. We're doomed. Why does one of the guys have, what do you call it? A banana gimmick? Because my boss was very adamant about it. And why didn't you say anything? I'm scared that if I say anything, I'll lose my job. I know if I just stand there not doing anything, these two wrestlers' careers will go down the drain. And I just don't know if I can live with that. It's a lose-lose situation no matter what. See what you do, bro, is you turn Slip babyface, and you join him up with Zorro, and you put Zorro in pajamas, and then they become a tag team. They become the Bananas in Pajamas, bro. It's money. You're printing money. Yeah, even the tag belts. Sounds like you're in a jam. Good thing I'm such a nice wrestling belt that I wouldn't mind lending you a helping. Another strap? He extends one of his leather straps towards me. Are you trying to tell me you have a plan? Of course I do. When you're as smart as me, you can come up with a plan on the fly. You know nothing about wrestling. No offense, but I don't think you'd be of any help. If I can't help you, how else am I supposed to pass the time? Read the newspaper again. Why did I read that front to back while you were out cold? I don't know, Newton, go find something to do. I have to get back to work. Newton grumbles what I believed were a few choice words under his breath before he once again disappears from my sight. Well, time to get back to work. Time continues to pass by. I have to turn my screen to full brightness to keep me from falling asleep. It's the tiny digital clock in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. 2:21. I'm finally done with the script, but God, is it awful. That's why it took so long to finish, because it was so agonizing to write. Am I really okay with submitting this next week? Am I really okay with aiding and ruining two wrestlers' careers? I shut off my laptop and close it softly so it can live to see another day, as I'm about to get up. That's when I noticed Newton sitting right next to me on the couch, staring at me like a psycho in one of those thriller movies. Jesus Christ, Newton, what did you get here? Just a few minutes ago. I'm surprised you didn't notice me hop up there. Must have been absorbed in all that amazing work you were doing. I will say, if you know what I'm doing, I'm trying to do a certain accent that's just not working. Alternatively, so he's just turning into Art Donovan. Must have absorbed all that amazing work you were doing, asshole. And judging by that dreadful expression you were wearing just a few moments ago, you don't feel great about what you typed up in that little machine of yours. Am I right or am I right? Do you want my help now, or do you plan on continuing to wallow in self-pity? Which, by the way, makes you get wrinkles faster. So I would really think about that before you decide. You know what? Sure, I'm sleep-deprived enough to listen to a talking championship belt. Excellent! So before I lay out my master plan, I need to know what makes a successful wrestler. 3 factors: a good gimmick, incredible in-ring ability, and being able to cut a killer promo on the mic. Do you understand what that means? No? Gimmick is a wrestler's persona or character. Wrestlers pretend to be someone, but nowadays they're just an exaggerated version of their real selves. Those are the kinds of wrestlers people love the most, someone who's real and not a walking cartoon. They also need to be able to perform in the ring and do great moves. If they're super green and botch every move, the audience is going to deem them a bad wrestler, whether they have a great gimmick or not. That's debatable. You can... If you got a strong enough character, you can get by figuring out the in-ring stuff on the fly. See, for example, Jade Cargill in AEW. It's a presence of a megastar. From the beginning, quite green, but it's come along significantly, given just her star presence and the work she's put in, the work they've put into building her as a star. That'll result in the audience either switching the channel or going to the bathroom during their matches. Ooh, harsh! Finally, you have the promos. When the wrestlers aren't fighting each other, they talk on the microphone backstage or in the ring to hype up their feud. You need to have acting chops and charisma to be able to pull the audience in with their words. If done well, this could crank the dial on the feud all the way up to 11. Have everyone be interested in what will happen next. If a wrestler has all three of those traits, they're practically made. As I told you, both the wrestlers I'm in charge of, and quite frankly, a lot of the talent in NGW don't have that. Not because they're awful, that's because my boss won't give them the time to shine. He squashes their potential. Don't have that being saddled with awful gimmicks, not given the time of the mic, not given the chance to put on their best match, utilize their in-ring talents to their fullest extent. Argue the ability to put on fantastic matches is one thing. There's also the ability to just tell a story in your match. You don't have to pull off all the flashiest moves on the planet to get over. But if you can pull off the basics and tell a story, you can pull people into your match. I gathered as much. Well, earlier you said that the fans like it when the wrestlers' gimmicks are close to their real selves. So, do you know these guys at all? Maybe you can change their gimmick to be similar to the real them. No can do. One, my boss would never approve of it. Two, I've only had very brief conversations with Slip and Zorro. Why? It's a hidden rule that creative and talent aren't supposed to be anything more than work acquaintances. Otherwise it could lead to favoritism in terms of booking. Well, that's stupid. I get it a little bit. There have been incidents where personal relationships got in the way of work. In UW, Universal Wrestling Enterprises, a wrestler named Gabriel Starr was seeing a writer, and his booking was super good as a result. It was discovered that the wrestlers held a mock trial in something they call Wrestler's Court. Oh, bringing in old things. I found Gabriel and the creative writer guilty of not only being in a relationship, but the writer favoring his wrestler boyfriend by putting him in higher profile feuds. And so they were punished. By the way, that's not the sort of thing that gets you taken to wrestler's court. Did they kill the budding couple? As a punishment? What? No, of course not. The issue was brought up to the CEO, who promptly fired them both. They got married and now the two work for different companies. Oh, good for them! That's why it's forbidden to avoid anything like that. Wrestler's court was a real thing, but it's the sort of thing that's settled entirely within the locker room and doesn't ever really get taken to management and higher-ups in the company. It's a big thing in WWE. Like, The Undertaker, he was the longest time the judge, jury, and executioner of Wrestler's Court. You piss him off, you piss off one of the longer-term veterans in the locker room back in the day, you get taken to Wrestler's Court. And you're carrying bags, or you're changing outside the locker room. Or you get Randy Orton taking a dump in your bag, or some shit. Yeah, it's guys being guys in here, and it's not the sort of thing that gets you taken to Wrestler's Court. I imagine that the scenario presented is still something that happens. But you don't plan on getting in a relationship with either of them, right? Of course not. Did you listen to what I just said? And I see no harm in learning more about them, so you could create better gimmicks for them. Keep things professional with both of them. It ain't that hard. Says you. What if I get to know them on a personal level and I end up catching feelings for one of them? What then? Humans can't decide who they fall in love with, it just happens. You humans make things more complicated than they have to be. You're so lucky I can't punch you. What was that? Nothing. Anyway, let's say I do talk to them and get to know them a bit better so I can create better in-ring characters for them. What about my boss? He rejects every idea that isn't his because he believes his ideas are like God's work or something. There's no way he'll approve anything I come up with. Then go behind his back. Give him the scripts and stuff he wants, but tell the wrestlers something else entirely. What? That's suicide. I could lose my job, Newton. It's the only option you have. You're not wrong, but still. So you gonna do this or what? If you don't... Oh, whoa, I got my lines wrong there. So are you gonna do this or what? If you don't, nothing is gonna change. Plus, I can't have risk having my reputation tanked because of some lousy writing. Despite how egotistical Newton is, I have to admit that his words ring true. But the voice inside of me is screaming, practically begging me not to go through with it. Try to go behind Ronnie's back. What will happen to me? Obviously, he'll fire me, but if word gets out that a small creative writer like me makes changes without the boss's permission, what will that do to my career? I'll be blacklisted. I'll never be able to get another job. Well, obviously, we're going to go to town on this. Newton's right. Screw Ronnie. Screw anxiety. I have to do this. Okay, I'm in. Of course you are. Newton takes my hand and shakes it vigorously with both of his leather straps. They engulf my hand. Which makes sense, it's given he's supposed to fit around the waist of the average male wrestler, which is super big. It's not like shaking hands with someone wearing leather gloves, so it's not as weird as I thought it would be. My newly found friend. You won't regret listening to Newton. Now, how long do we have to turn things around? 2 weeks. We have 2 normal shows, and then the pay-per-view where either Slip or Zorro will be crowned champion and win you. We have no time to waste then. We have to get started tomorrow. Wait, what time is it? 2:34 a.m. I mean later today. Wait, that's way too soon. To prepare myself mentally for this. Yes, screw my anxiety and all that jazz, but I was at least hoping to wait a day or so to start. Listen, the sooner the better. Oh, fine. Seems like I'm going head first into this. Can we at least move over to my bedroom? I have the feeling I'm going to pass out eventually, and I would rather be in my bed this time around. Your bedroom? No, Amy, I know I'm great now, but I don't think I'm ready for... Newton, you're daft. I have no intentions of doing anything with you. Just don't want to fall asleep on my couch is all. I have no idea how that would work anyway. See the centerfold of Shawn Michaels wearing nothing but the WWF title. Oh, okay. Oh, let's head over there. Oh, well, it's kind of cute, actually. The 2 of us head into my bedroom, and I finally get a chance to lay flat on my stomach on my wonderfully soft and expensive mattress. Having a good mattress is honestly life-changing. Newton scoots over next to me as I type away on my laptop. Now let's get a better idea of what we're dealing with. Do you have any info on these wrestlers? What are their real names? How much does this guy weigh? Do they have real names? I've only been in this world for a short time, but if you're going to tell me someone actually named their child Slip, then we've got a lot more work than just fixing this storyline. Better if I pull up their bios on the NGW website. After a couple minutes of navigating through what looks like an early 2000s site that screams, graphic design is my passion, I managed to pull up Slip's page. Slip, my name is Zachary Osborne. He's a new guy, and I believe NGW is the first promotion where he got a legitimate contract. Before us, he did a lot of backyard matches and worked for small indie promotions. You seriously wouldn't kidding about the chap's banana gimmick? Does he wear that costume all the time? Only in public appearances and backstage segments. Oh, save his poor soul. He goes out into the world with that on? Yeah, I need some help. A lot of it. Okay, pull up Zorro's page now before I get too sad for looking at this chap. I pull up Zorro's page, and if Newton had eyes, they would light up with excitement right now. Oh, this Zorro guy looks pretty cool. How can you manage to mess up someone who looks that cool? Don't ask me. Wait, what's his real name? I don't see it anywhere on the page. Oh, that's because it's a long-held tradition that luchadors keep their real identities a secret. So he asked us not to reveal his real name on the public page. What's his name? I'm not gonna tell you that. Oh, come on. It's not like he's ever gonna know you told me. After all, no one else can hear me, so if I walked up to him and called him by his real name, he'd never know. Still, it's a respect thing. Respect. Fine. Anyway, he was a major hit back in Mexico and Lucha Libre nationwide. Somehow we managed to sign him and brought him here. Ronnie managed to mess all that up. Dude has no charisma or personality to speak of. Or Slip has way too much personality, if you can call being hyperfixated on one thing a personality. And I continue to browse the internet on Slip and Zorro. There isn't much on Slip, considering how small he was before coming to NGW. There's a ton of Spanish language articles on Zorro. What we can both gather from the flimsy translation, Zorro was seen as a superhero back home. Everybody loved him. It's sad to know that we managed to mess up someone as great as him. Alright, I think that's enough for now. I'm going to bed. We'll decide our next plan of action in the morning. What? What am I supposed to do? Sleep? Sentient objects don't need sleep. We're not like you. The fact that he said we sends a chill down my spine. Are there more things like you? Is Skynet going to become a thing soon? Just with inanimate objects like lambs instead of killer robots? Just screenshotting that for reasons? Nah. Right? I shake these thoughts away before the little alarm bells in my head can go off. I don't know, you're smart, so you can come up with something. Fine, but you don't mind if I take your laptop, do you? I need it for entertainment purposes. Phrasing. Should I let Newton borrow my laptop? Fine. What could go wrong? I nod hesitantly. Sure. Think this is thanks for helping me out. Just be careful with it, okay? Newton swipes the laptop out of my hands like an eager child who just got their first allowance. Bro. Thanks. You know you're not that bad, Amy. Newton waddles away with a skip in his step. As I think about what my search history will look like in the morning, I throw my comforter on top of me and drift off to sleep. Wake up, the sun's blinding rays burst through my bedroom window, signaling that it's a new day and I have to get to work. But first, brekkie. Can't work miracles on an empty stomach. After getting ready, I exit my bedroom to find Newton sitting on the armchair, bending down as he tries to figure out today's crossword puzzle in the newspaper. Okay, you got this, Newton. Roleplay. 47 across. Third-party account in a real estate transaction. What the bloody hell could the answer be? He taps the pencil onto one of his side plates, trying his best to come up with the answer to the puzzle. The word you're looking for is notary. Oh, thank you. Scribbles down the answer before setting the pencil down, giving me his full attention. Lordy, you humans sleep forever! Geez, I'm sorry that humans need sleep to function? Good morning to you too, Newton. How did you hold up? Well, you see, before your laptop died on me, I found some fascinating videos on the World Wide Web. These are these life hack videos on YouTube that I think would really benefit you. Like if you laid down and sneezed, but found out that the tissue box was too far away. A channel called 10 Minute Crafts showed a hack where you can put the tissue box inside the pillowcase. All I have to do is cut a hole for the tissue and boom, tissue box pillow. That sounds uncomfortable. Why would I put a big rectangular box inside my pillowcase? Why don't I move around in my sleep and I accidentally hear the tissue box? I'm a light sleeper, so I'd wake up. Well, there are a ton of other life hacks. I'm good. Thanks, though. Heading over to my kitchen, I open my fridge to see what I can make. What's inside the mostly empty fridge is a random assortment of ingredients. With what I have, I decide on a good old-fashioned English breakfast. Delicious tomatoes, bacon, perfectly cooked sunny-side up eggs, black pudding, toast, and some beans. That's quite a list of ingredients. Taking all the ingredients out of the fridge and the cupboard, I begin to work on my creation. The sound of the bacon sizzling in the pan is like music to my ears. Once they're done, I carefully crack the eggs into the same pan that the bacon was in so they can soak up that delicious bacon grease. Moving my attention away from the eggs, I focus on the black pudding, which begins to fill the entire flat with its strong herbal aroma. Knowing what black pudding is, I like it. As everything begins to come together, the last piece of the puzzle, the toast, pops out of the toaster. What's that smell? I assemble everything onto the plate haphazardly, partially because I have no plating skills whatsoever, and also because my stomach is growling at me like a hungry lion. It looks stunned when I bring over the food to the coffee table. What's that? That smells good! English breakfast. It basically has a little bit of everything that someone needs to start the day off right. Not to mention I almost said adorable, affordable, and bloody delicious. I have to ask, how'd you manage not to burn the place down from cooking all that? Not sure if that's an insult or a compliment. Maybe a bit of both? Experience. Really burned down my childhood home trying to cook this in the early hours of the morning. I just couldn't wait for my parents to wake up, so I decided to take matters in my own hands. Then the sound of the fire alarm scared me and I ran upstairs crying to both my parents. It was a horrible start to the day for all three of us. What, do you have something snarky to say? No, just thinking to myself. Can't say I expected that. In the short time I've known Newton, he doesn't seem to be the type to keep any of his thoughts to himself. If he was a human, he surely would have gotten rocked plenty of times. Newton goes back to work on his crossword while I finish up my meal. Outside of Newton occasionally asking me for help, breakfast is relatively quiet. I know I need to go see Zorro and Slip today, but before I do, there's still this sense of unease that I want to get rid of. After cleaning my plate, I wash my dish and utensils until they're squeaky clean. Then I head to the door to put on my shoes. Where are you going? The park. I want to clear my head before I see Zorro or Slip. Can I come with? No. What? Why? We're trying to keep your design a secret from the public until the day of the title match. Can't really walk outside with a giant shiny wrestling belt with the NGW logo engraved on it. Sorry, bud, but you'll have to keep yourself occupied until I get back. Boo! I'll get back soon. The sooner you're back, the quicker you can get started turning that crappy storyline into gold. After all, I can't debut in a crappy storyline. That's just unbefitting of someone of my stature. Even though Newton is egotistical as hell, he does have a point. The title's value can change at the drop of a hat, depending on who the title holder is, how many times the belt switches hands, and what feuds it's involved with. I guess that's true. Anyway, I'm off. Goodbye to Newton and head out. Park! When I arrive at Sefton Park, I notice that there are more people here than usual. It's a historical park, so there's a bunch of tourists taking pictures here with their significant others or family. It's cute. Oh. Oh, that's cute. A 235-acre park, southern Liverpool, England, open 24 hours, 365 days a year. Residents of Liverpool can visit this beautiful park and admire the amazing scenery and monuments. You can even fish there if you have an angling permit. Fun fact, the Friends of Sefton Park Twitter page tweeted at Winning Hearts artist Katie when she mentioned that she did the park as one of the backgrounds for this game. Aww. That's cute, they're happy. That's really cute. Maybe one day I can travel the world with NGW if we ever happen to do shows in the States. That would be nice. I'm to explore the world while doing what I love. Yeah, that's the dream, isn't it? Can I really do this? Do I have what it takes to change everything for the better? Maybe it isn't too late to give up now. After all, I haven't done anything, so it's not like Zorro and Slip would be devastated if they were. Would be devastated as they would be if I gave up halfway. Then I would never hear the end of it from Newton. Plus, would I really be okay just giving up and letting things stay the way they are? I ball up my fists. I can't give up. I can do this. The ever done? The sound of excited kids screaming snaps me out of my thoughts. I turn in the direction of the sound, only to find... Oh shit! Zorro! He's in his regular getup, mask included. It's a rule among luchadors that you can't be seen without your mask. They're sacred. They're basically a symbol of a luchador's career. I mean, that you could go out in, like, normal clothes and just your mask. As long as you keep your mask on. I know in some places that if an opponent tries to remove a luchador's mask, they can be disqualified. They're that important. So it's no shock that Zorro was out here dressed up in his gear. I want to say that's a rule in most Mexican promotions. I know it's a rule that that's carried over into New Japan Pro Wrestling. Probably others that work with Mexican promotions. I don't know if that carries over into the Americas, though. If it has, never really came up to my recollection. It was no shock that Zorro is out here dressed up in his gear. Gracias, Senor Zorro. De nada, Christian. The kid gets right next to Zorro, who bends down to match their height. In front of them is the kid's mother, holding out her phone, ready to snap a picture. That's one of the things I like about Zorro. He always tries to make time for his fans, even though interactions with them are few and far between. Not to mention he's great with kids. Which is super cute. Listo? Uno, dos, tres, y sonríe. I probably butchered that one. The kid gives a toothy grin. She shows both Zorro and her son the picture. The kid turns to Zorro. Gracias, Senor Zorro. Senor Zorro? Si? Eres genial en Next Generation Wrestling, pero... ¿Cuándo regresarás a Lucha Libre Nationwide? Kid's mom gently grabs his arm, tugging him away from Zorro. Vamos, Christian. No debemos ocupar demasiado de su tiempo. Adiós, Senor Zorro. Two walk away, saying goodbye to Zorro and leaving him by his lonesome. That's probably weighing on Zorro's mind, too. Quack! He turns toward the pond and admires the ducks. Then Zorro takes out a little brown baggie and digs his hand inside. He starts to throw little bits of what looks to be food towards the feathered creatures. Zorro, does your gear have pockets? Otherwise, where did you pull that baggie out of? Just ponder that for a second. Slowly I approach Zorro, who is too busy throwing food to notice me. When I get close to him, he turns his head slightly, acknowledging my presence. Hey, Zorro. It's his ring name. That's his traditional, as long as the luchador is still masked. Hello, Amy. Are you doing well? Can you qualify talking to a sentient wrestling belt and planning to go behind your boss despite the risk of losing your job as doing well? I think so. Do you come here often? Not as often as I would like, seeing how I'm always training. I stare at the pond, joining Zorro in admiring the ducks. Two of them look like a couple. Do you want to feed the ducks? Yes. Sure. Zorro extends his hand, offering me some of the food. It's an interesting mixture. With some small dried up food and small bits of what I think are grapes? Oh, that's... Oh! Look at those happy ducks. I grab a handful and start chucking bits of it into the pond. Ducks swim up to it and gobble down the small bits of food. That's interesting, because that might actually be a better mix to be feeding ducks other than just straight up bread. What a considerate dude. Is feeding ducks actually good food for ducks, and not just bread. Grab a handful and start chucking bits of it into the pond. The ducks swim up to it and gobble down the small bits of food. Man, they really like this food. Yep. What's in this feed you give them? Got corn, oats, rice, birdseed, and bits of grapes. I don't bring too much, just enough to get them through the morning. Bring too much and they don't eat it, it could cause the water to become contaminated with algae. Yikes. Did you learn this through experience? No, I did some research and confirmed it with some experts. Can't afford to take risks with these gentle creatures. My god, Zorro was an absolute sweetie. Do you have any animals at home? I have 2 dogs and a kitten, all of whom I rescued. What are their names? Dogs are named Mystique and Eddie. The kid's name is Preciosa. Is that Spanish? My expertise in that language is non-existent. Her name in English is Precious. Living up to her name, she's the most gentle, adorable creature that's ever graced this planet. What about you? Do you have any pets? No. My current workload, I feel I wouldn't have enough time to take care of it. That's good to know about yourself. Often people get a pet but don't realize the responsibility that comes with them. Plus, I'm not sure how they would react with my new flatmate. Oh? Does your flatmate have allergies? Nope, they're just the NGW title. I'm afraid that a pet would either chew or scratch him to bits. Yes. When I look down into the bag that Zorro gave me, there's only a bit of feed left. She have the honors of throwing the last bit of food. Underneath his mask, I can make out a grateful smile. Gracias. I know. That means thank you. He throws the last bit of food, which the ducks eat up. Seeing him act so kind toward these wild animals is thoughtful. I can see why he was so well liked back home, especially if he's willing to make the lives of wild animals a little bit easier. Maybe do the same back home with people. I easily picture Zorro giving his cape to a little kid, easily making their day. Giving a homeless person a warm meal. Well, that's all the food. He crinkles the tiny brown paper bag and throws it into the nearby trash can. Now that we're no longer feeding the cute animals in the pond, I have to focus back on my mission while I still have Zorro with me. Zorro, can we talk about something real quick? His warm smile, disappears, and his shoulders droop a bit. I change my tone from friendly to serious. Did you want to talk to me about something work-related? Yeah. Sorry to bring up work on your day off. It's probably one of the last things you want to hear about. It's fine. What do you want to talk about? Looking around, I make sure no one is in earshot. Then I lower my voice to a whisper. I plan on changing everything about your feud with Slip. Perdone. Did Ronnie give you approval? I haven't heard anything from him about anything getting changed. No? Me and my new roommate talked about it. He told me that going behind Ronnie's back was the only option. Zorro lets out a deep, exasperated sigh. Listen, Amy. I've been in the business long enough to know that going behind the big man's back isn't a good idea. I've considered the risks that come with doing this. Trust me, I originally didn't want to do this until my roommate hammered in my head that I have no other choice. Ronnie is stuck in his ways, Zorro. You, me, and everyone else in the company know that. Want things to change for the better, we have to do it ourselves, with or without him. I can see the gears in Zorro's head turning as he mulls over my plan. He still seems hesitant about the idea. I need that little extra push to get him on my side. We have to change up your character, and as well as Slip, so that the audience can start caring about you two. We can do that, and Ronnie sees that the fans care. Maybe he'll step back and let us writers do what we're supposed to do. If you do this, think about what this can do for your career, for Slips, for the rest of the talent in the locker room. Morale will skyrocket, and the wrestlers in the back will see that NGW can be a fantastic promotion if put in the right hands. What do you have in mind? I'm not sure yet, but we need to reinvent you. You've been Zorro for 10 plus years. I think it's time for a slight change to your look and persona. Call it Zorro 2.0 if you will. I mean, we don't have to go with an entire gimmick change. We just need to actually, like, give you a few vignettes, give you a few promos, build a story involving you that gives you a chance to show off some character. You don't have to go that far. Zorro 2.0, huh? I don't know, Amy. Wait, why? If you don't mind me asking. Zorro looks off in the distance, eyeing the spot that he was just standing where he took a picture with that kid. He opens his mouth, but immediately closes it, unsure of how to phrase his thoughts. Zorro, I know that's asking a lot of you, considering we aren't close and you haven't seen what I can really do. I know that I can turn this whole thing around and make you and Slip into the stars you're meant to be. That's why I took the job at NGW in the first place, to skyrocket our talent to the room. To the room? To the moon, and have them remembered for their stellar careers. It hurts me to see how the crowd doesn't react to you unless you do the New Horizon. As my feelings about the situation pour out, my voice gets shaky. You deserve to have the same kind of reaction you did back when you were in LLN. I promise you that I'll get you there. Here in NGW. You just have to trust me. So please, trust me. Zorro turns back to me and looks me up and down. You know, it's been a while since I've seen someone who works at NGW be so passionate about, well, anything. To the point they're about to cry. Wait, am I tearing up? God damn it, tear ducts. I know that's just my contact lenses. I think I put them in wrong. It's a lie. I don't own a pair of contact lenses. My vision is perfect. Perfect. And Zorro doesn't know that. Yeah. Seemingly out of nowhere, Zorro pulls out a tiny packet of tissue. Zorro, where? Do I... What did you... Hidden pockets. Ah, okay. You did it now. You did acknowledge it. Clever. Thank you. Taking one of the small tissues out from the pack, I feverishly wipe away the tears. So what do you say, Zorro? Do you trust me? Upon hearing my question, a faint hint of a smile forms at the corner of Zorro's lips. Yes, I trust you, Amy. Cupping his hands into mine, I return the smile with one of my own. Thank you, Zorro. I promise you that I won't let you down. Should we arrange a meeting soon? So you can talk to me and Slipper about what you plan to do. That would be a good idea. That way I can get input from them. The issue is where? I can't discuss work-related matters in public just in case a fan or a hater, the latter being more possible, overhears us and then leaks it online. I want to keep what we're doing a surprise for the fans, and if it gets out, it would ruin everything. Can't discuss it at work. There's a good chance, no way, 100% chance that Ronnie would overhear. His bloody ears are the size of satellites. But this, text me when you have that worked out. Hands me his flip phone. Holy crap, he has a flip phone? In this day and age? If you could hear my inner thoughts, Zorro rubs the back of his neck, embarrassed. I prefer these over smartphones. Easier to take care of. No need to explain yourself, I get it. Well, it's kind of weird to see a 36-year-old with a flip phone when people way older than him have the latest smartphone. Oh well, to each their own, I guess. After a bit of struggling with the keyboard, I managed to type my number into Zorro's phone before I input his number into mine. That's just how it be sometimes. Okay, once I have an idea of where he can meet, I'll let you know. Wonder, should I send him a ton of emojis? Would he even be able to see them since his phone is older? That sounds good. I'll see you later then, Amy. Bye, Zorro. Have a good rest of your day. Say a preciosa for me, okay? I will. Zorro out. Zorro waves goodbye before walking away, leaving me with the mallard duck couple that he and I were feeding. Leaning against the railing, I admire the two adorable-looking creatures. What should I name you two? Glancing between the two ducks, I can tell that they're fun, extroverted souls, which isn't usually common with ducks. I point to the small, brown one. I'll name you Maria. Does that sound good? Glad you like the name. I turn my attention to the other duck, who tilts his head at me in curiosity. As for you... Quack. Mike? How'd you feel about the name Mike, little guy? Quack. Duck flaps his wings happily. Excellent. Mike it is then. I continue to admire Mike and Maria until they swim away further off into the pond to do, well, whatever it is that ducks do. Our lovely mallard duck couple, Mike and Maria, are named after a real-life wrestling... Oh! Wrestling couple Mike Bennett and Maria Canellis Bennett. Fantastic wrestlers and people who used to have an incredibly cheesy but catchy entrance song. Search it up. I can guarantee you'll find it. This is correct. I should get home. I'm sure Newton is getting bored being by himself. And God only knows what he does when he's bored. Will he throw more of my precious Blu-rays? Try to cook food like I did earlier this morning? My imagine paints a very vivid picture of me arriving back at my flat building on fire. My resident is outside crying while Newton is standing off to the side like a kid who got his hand caught in the cookie jar. Yeah, I should get home. Now. On my way back to my flat, I drive past the Cavern Club, a famous nightclub that was the birthplace of the Beatles. All year round, fans from all over the world travel to the there to take part in the International Beatle Week. Interesting. We'll cover that, though, next time. Until then.